क्या करना है, अपडेट पे छोड़ना
है कि जो अवेलेबल हो जाए।
Okay. So just as in the video, I guess you might have everyone got a clear idea about what are the new things has been added in the latest version. And just the same things we are going to discuss in the other slides as well. So more likely, I'll just explain about the CAD advantages or the CAD tools which are newly added in the Artec Studio 17, which will help in many ways. More likely, once after scanning, of course, who all are using, they all are happy with our scanners that, and also the software is that we can easily scan and also we can get a 3D model easily, right? But after that, getting a 3D model in STL format. So when we're talking about to redesigning that, again, there is a dependency of a third-party software like any of the softwares like SolidWorks, Geomagic Design X, or any new softwares. So what Artec has decided and come up with the idea is that instead of dependency on the 100% dependency of the third-party softwares, if you want to create some kind of models, let's say if some kind of parametric models are there, something like this, which can be parametrically measurable. So these kind of models you can directly create it using a primitives. That means you just select some area of the actual scan data, like cylinders and every area. So that will be automatically extracted, which can be exported as a step or IGS in the later stage, which are normally a CAD output formats, right? So like that you can easily do. And what's the purpose is that as you're directly creating the exact 3D models in a furthermore other software, in the scanning software itself, directly you can import it in your SolidWorks or any native format, which you are don't having a reverse engineering module in that. So in that only you can directly, your next step will be just import it and you do some Boolean operations on the actual primitives and you can directly good to go with the actual models. So that will save your 90% of the work or interdependency of the third-party software, which is more advantageous. And also, if I talk about in the previous version, like 16 version and 15 version, these CAD primitives were preliminarily launched. That means you can, if it is a cylinder is there, as you can see that you can create some cylinder at that particular area. Only you can able to export it as step or IGS. You are not supposed to edit that parameters. But in Studio, what advantages is that even you can edit those parameters like the way that you can, if you want to increase the size of, if you want to increase the length of the cylinder, you can increase that. And if you want to increase the size of the diameter, you can do that. So like how we do it parametrically, exactly the same way. You just give some data or parameter into the software and it will automatically generate. I'll just show it in here in this slide.
Let's have a look.
Which gives you a clear idea how it will be done. Yeah, you can see this. You can just go to the construct tool. You can directly give the radius here and also the height of the feature you are going to create. And also it's a free positioning. Means you don't need a scan model also all the time in the designs in the scanning software. Whatever you want to create as a CAD design, that you can directly create in the scanning software itself, and you can export these features as a step or IGS. And later on, you can take it out of the, you can take it in any design software, and you can able to do the all the parameters. Okay. So again, even software has been also enhanced in such a way that even that segment brush, which is a new tool, has been added, in which you just click anywhere, software will understand that as a one single feature, and you can able to trim it off, or you want to re-add that, you can do that in the later stage. Right, you can just keep on increasing the sensitivity. So based on that sensitivity level, so these things will be keep on adding up. And one more latest features in Artec Studio 17 is that the maintaining the constraints. As I was saying earlier, if you are creating, earlier what I was saying is that if you are doing some kind of creating a 3D model, let's say this cylinder is created in vertically and this cylinder is at on horizontal. But the thing is that if at all, as it is a physical component, there will be definitely some kind of angle will be there, right? So if I take that directly for manufacturing applications, we might end up getting the angled holes, which is not actually a correct thing, right? So for that application, what we can do is that we can maintain the constraints. That means in the scanning software itself, once after you creating a CAD design, you can directly tell the software this is the parameter I need to maintain. Like this whole center and this whole center has to be a perpendicular to each other. And also even you can, if you want to maintain some kind of uniform circulars or uniform dimensions need to be maintained, everything can be done in the scanning software itself. As you are seeing on the video, just you right click on feature and you can directly give a constraint. If you have anyone who is having a design experience or design software experience, you might be knowing or you might be aware that in order to create these parameters, you have to give the dimensions individually in particular design oriented tool in the sketch menu or somewhere, and then you have to do that, right? So here it is not at all required. So directly you give the points, just like painting, you just select some area and you can extract it directly, and you can constrain it as simple as it is here. Same way, the next step is about auto surfacing. So again, auto surfacing is the latest tool with which you can easily create a complete 3D model with one click. Again, it is not a parametric model. That means it is not good to go for manufacturing. It's not good to go for manufacturing. It's not good to go for manufacturing, but it is helpful in creating a for the application like creating a complete surface model. That means in one click you will get it as a step or IGS format. Later on, you can directly use it for analysis applications, or let's say you are creating some kind of customized designs. In that you want to take some dimensions from the CAD model. The problem what designers face is generally is that if they don't have a reverse engineering module in their software, even though if you import the STL data in that particular software, you might not able to use that data, correct? So here with the auto surface model, you can able to take the dimensions and you can able to take the dimensional references from the scan model, and you can able to build that details. Hope this is clear. I'll just move on to the next slide.
Another brand new
So again, this is one of the latest, the very important tool which is added in the, getting some noise. Please mute. Right, thank you. Right. So this is also one of the latest tool, which is very useful for the
Another
people
addition that
who are
can be
using
formally
for the
attributed to the
applications
Boolean
like for 3D printing. That means, let's say you're scanning some larger component or larger size of the object, and immediately you are about to print that. But in order to split the dimensions, earlier in the previous versions of Artec Studio, there was no particular method to split the models. Randomly, you have to select, and again, you have to copy that file and you have to do that. But there was no proper intersectional area was not there in the earlier session. But now, as you can see it in this video, you can create a primitives, whatever the planes or cylinders or anything what we are creating. Using that as a references, we can split the models. That means parametrically, you can define the dimension. I want to split this from this end to at that particular area after that much of sense. And later, based on that, you can able to easily split the models, and software will automatically save that as a 2 to 3 models separately. So which you can export separately, and if you want to print separately, you can do that, and later on you can able to merge all together. Okay. Right, as we're seeing in this video, just select that plane and you split it. As you can see it in the right side of the window, one model has been split into your 2 different models. Again, you might ask where these things will be useful and other things. Like as I was telling for 3D printing again, plus if you want to some kind of creating a dimensionally differentiable models of 2 to 3 different sectors, or if you want to do some kind of patterns. So for that kind of applications, you can use these tools for splitting the mesh data in a clear format. Okay. Yes. So these are some of the tools about. One second. I guess I missed somewhere about the Boolean operations. Yes.
Another brand new.
So these are some of the tools related to creating a 3D model. Now, and again, how it can be saving your time on creating, depending on the third-party software or design softwares to extract the dimensions. But now, this is the one more very advantage, and even I'm fascinated about this particular feature in Artec Studio. That is about creating a Boolean operations in the scanning software itself. So what is Boolean operations is that, okay, 1 second.
Batches not allow Artec.
Right. So what actually I was telling is that these Boolean operations, that means as we know that whenever we design some design or any kind of new designs in design softwares, first we will extrude in some direction and some other dimensions in some other features in some different X and Y direction. And later on, we will either we'll merge the data, or if you want to make it as a negative, we will subtract the data, correct? And also if you want to do some kind of intersection, you want to check, that also we will do. So here, the same things, whatever the primitives we are creating, of course, that is a CAD model only. So the same CAD models can be used to edit the scan data, which is very unique here. So earlier, for example, if I want to change some dimensions or the whole dimensions in this particular hole, the only method was, or the earlier method was that you have to create the entire CAD model for this model. And during designing that, you have to edit this hole. That means you have to make changes of that hole. But here in the Artec Studio, in the latest version, what you can do is that in the scan model itself, you keep the scan data as it is in the 3D model. So it is a mesh model. And whatever the CAD model you are creating, that is as a step or IGS, that is a primitives, taking that as a reference, you can directly merge it with the scan model, or you can subtract the dimensions from the scan model. As you can see, this hole is there. And again, this some top portion you want to remove, or again, you want to fill this area with some circular portion. So all these things can be done directly. You can directly interact with the CAD and to CAD with the mesh. So which will save almost 90-95% of the general data or the industry time, which is currently happening in the current industry. So as you can see this here, the scan data is there, and further he wanted to add some block. Directly you can create that block in the scanning software itself and directly merge it and create it as a scan data. So which is more useful and which is more time saving. As you have seen, it's just like a one-click operation, and it will not take any time at all, 0 time. So again, you can see this here. The hole is not captured 100% because the whole diameter is less. Of course, the software has filled that area. Now, let's say you're going for 3D printing and you want to have a proper hole at that particular portion. So as I was telling, instead of going for a complete RE, you can just fit that particular cylinder, and with that cylinder as a reference, you can directly trim it off, or if you want to add it, you can directly add to the scan data. So which is a very wonderful tool actually, industry wise. Okay, so again, this you can see this is some rectangle block is there, and from that you are creating one more sphere, and you want to integrate that. That's what we call intersection. That also can be done immediately. So the main advantage is that here the traditional kind of design approach is not at all there. It is just like holding a brush and doing some kind of painting, and immediately you're getting the features, and taking that you can directly editing with the CAD model. So which is more fascinating and more easy to do and more easy to understand compared to the previous other industry software approaches. Okay. Okay, so telling so that these are the some of the tools related to CAD model. Now we'll just move on to the quality inspection tools. That is about inspecting the scan to CAD data in the scanning software itself. As we know that in the Artec Studio 15, after 15, we are already having our tools to inspect the scan and CAD model and scan model, right? So that means if you have some two scan data, you can import and you can able to align. But now from previous version of Artec Studio 16, even we can able to import the CAD model, that is a step or IGS, and we can align. So this is how it was in the Artec Studio 16. That means just a 3-point alignment was there. That is just like a best fit alignment. But in the latest version of Artec Studio, even we can able to do the datum alignment. That means if you want to understand how much deviation is coming with reference to choosing, let's say for this component, if that whole and this whole position is 0, 0, and the bottom of the base that is flat, if I keep that as a 0, 0 and that whole position as 0, so what will be the dimensional difference it is coming in the physical part? So these kind of analysis, which were usually available only in the paid version of softwares, that has been made available in the Artec Studio itself now. So just like this, once after you do the like normal best fit alignment, that is a point-to-point alignment, you just click on the datums like 1, 2, 3. Of course, datum, the purpose of datum alignment is to constrain the any alignment with reference to x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. Right. So the same way you can just choose the datum 1, datum 2, and datum 3. Based on that, scan data will be easily aligned, and later on you can directly allow that to the purpose of like you can directly call out the surface comparison, and you can able to see the surface comparison, and wherever you want to add the flyer also, that is what we call annotations within the stated tolerance band. That also can be done in the done here itself. Okay. So the reason why Artec is including all these things in the scanning software itself is that, of course, most of the customers or sometimes they will not need it to do all kind of GD&T inspections, right? So they need only a surface comparison. They want to take some decision on the future steps. So instead of spending a lot of money on the new software, these basic inspections and these understanding these alignments and adding to your report, that can be done manually here in the Artec Studio itself. So as you can see, these are the errors of the datum alignment, and it is telling you that keeping these things as a 0, 0, and this is the kind of distance map what you're getting. So distance mapping is nothing but the surface comparison, surface to surface differences. As you can see this, yes. So immediately by seeing this, you can set the tolerance band, like if your allowable tolerance is 100 micron, you can keep it to plus or minus 100 microns, and the software will shows you the tolerances differences at that particular area. That means green area that is within 100 microns of accuracy, and wherever is more, the material is more with reference to the actual design. And again, you can just click anywhere and the annotations will be added. That means the deviation at that particular area will be directly added. Okay, right. So now, okay. So one more thing is the main. Now we'll just talk. Till now we talked about reverse engineering tools and inspection tools. Now the latest thing, which is very fascinating about the current industry and why Artec is gaining very much popular, is also in the segment of this photorealistic texture. That means earlier, of course, Artec is good for capturing the color information as well of the actual data. But here, even we can enhance the color capability by adding the photos of the actual object. Of course, whoever are using Artec Studio 16, they might be aware that even we can take the photos from smartphone or from the DSLR camera, and you can directly map it on the scan model, which was, of course, it was just like a prototype. But now in the Artec Studio 17, this features also has been stabilized more, where you can even more predominantly you can see and control the quality of the texture. That means if photo is not captured properly without any proper continuity, that also can be segmented, and you can omit that particular segment during the texturing. So the advantage is that, of course, people who are in the same industry for virtual AR, VR, or CGI applications, they might be knowing that immediately after scanning, whatever we get as a color information from either any of the scanner, for example, you can see it here. 1 second, I'll just show. Yeah, you can see this. This is the right side is the color information which we are get from Artec Micro. The same way, the left side, which is done through the auto texturing. Similarly, you can see this Artec Leo has captured all the details with the real color, but still it is at just 24 bits per pixel of texture capability Artec Leo, Space Spider, or even EVA has with our scanners. But if you want to enhance more interdependent of the ambient temperature or ambient lighting condition, we can do a photo texturing. So photo texturing is nothing but the high detail geometrical details will be captured by the camera, and the color information you are adding from the additional photos of the actual object. So you can see this here also, like Artec Leo's output is like this. But again, after applying that photo texturing, that means once after scanning is done, in the same position, you are taking the photo of the actual object also, and you import those photos in the scanning software, and you will run the algorithms. Software will understands the same orientation from the scan data to imported photos. Either the photos might be from smartphone, or it might be from any kind of phones, or also from DSLR cameras. So software will map those details, and only on the texturing area, the texture information will be collected from the cameras, so that you will get a more enhanced enhanced color information within a very less size. Okay. Yeah, as you can see this here, the advantage is that earlier in the previous version, these options were not there. Once after you import the photos, you could not able to see anything, or you could not able to control the quality of the texture what you have imported, or whatever the photo you have taken. But in this version of latest version of 17, even you can able to see the data clearly as you are once after importing the scan model. You can see this the surrounding small patches what you are seeing. Those are the photos which are taken from that particular distance from the actual object. And also you can see the quality. If some things are which is highlighting here, that means it is telling you that these are the areas which has been overlapping on the actual 3D model. So once you click on that photo 3D, so it will directly shows you which exactly area it is mapping on. Okay, so it is more easy to understand the quality of the data without losing the much time on the getting a more proper detailed output. Okay, right. Even you can tell the software how within what tolerance band we can able to control the texture capability. So as you can see this here, I'll just bring it back. Yeah. So as you can see it here in this video, some of the photos are highlighting, telling that these are failed. Why? Because either the orientation is not at all matching with the scanned data, or it is totally out of the focusing area. So that is the reason it is not captured. And you can immediately delete out of the actual overall registration process, which was earlier, which was not there in the previous version of Artec Studio software. Okay. Now, again, with this help of photo texturing, it is already revolutionizing the industry of CGI and virtual environment, and where as every word is moving towards meta. So everything has to be created as accurately, as more realistic as possible. For that, with the help of our scanners, the people are achieving it more easily and more without much efforts, which used to take, like, for example, generally these kind of procedures will take importing it in the Blender, and again importing the photos. Not all there, because one software will provide you all the details, including the geometrical clarity of the object, plus textural clarity of the object also in the one single solution. Okay. So coming to the last slide about
Here it is.
other than this, some of the latest features are also has been added by the Artec Studio 17 about the user interface and reducing the overall processing time. I just wanted to show that as well. Now Artec has introduced one more tool of selection that is called object selection. That means once after you click anywhere, if it is independent from the main body, it will automatically select it and you can easily delete that. Otherwise, until and otherwise, you will be knowing that you have to zoom in and you have to select manually, deselect, delete. Again, you change the orientation, select it again, delete it. So those kind of things has been easily avoidable here. Sorry, right. So again, in Fusion also the overall process has been reduced. That means earlier, what to say, that the Fusion used to run only on the RAM and CPU based, but now the pressure of the processing the data has been distributed equally among all the segmented of your laptop or system, whatever you are using, so that as I said, it will reduces your, or I can say 10 to 15 times more faster than the previous Fusion time will takes in the latest version. So again, this kind of 3D hole filling tool has been improved. That means without any compromising the the quality of the filling area, now it is possible with the Studio 17. Okay. So, and again, who all are using the Leo scanner or any Artec Studio, Artec EVA, who use for creating a more resoluted model, who are using for scanning with the HD mode. Again, now the HD mode importing time as well as the processing time is almost half of the time it is reduced. Like you can see it here, earlier used to take in 16 version, if it is taking 13 minutes to 14 minutes, here that will be done within 7 to 8 minutes. So again, reconstruction rate is also doubled without taking the much time. And again, the one more latest features in 17 is that if you are sometimes if you are working on, if it is suddenly crashed, the software got crashed, it used to difficult to retrieve it back, because it used to directly go to your temp files and you could not able to recover that. But now if something happens and the software closed automatically, whenever you open the software next time, the software will automatically understands that orientation and it will tells you the recover. It directly first step you will get it as a recover, and if you click on recover, it will start resuming from wherever it is already stopped. The reason why I'm highlighting this point is that if previously, if you are not saved the model, it used to directly sit on the RAM, so that it used to consume more RAM space, right? But now, once you start scanning, the software will directly save the data to a disk. Of course, even though if it's in a temporary file, it will directly save in a compact disk of your system storage, so that it can retrieve it back later on. Even if sometimes it got crashed or something, it will retrieve it back without any losing the track on, without compromising on the time. Okay. So again, there are a lot of simple UI based updates are also has been there for making the more user friendly and more interchangeable things. But other than these are not much technically needed. Again, one more last option which has been automatically has been done is that once you install the software with the Artec Studio 17, it will check for the GPU test. That means checking for the graphic card capability. Earlier, we used to manually need to tell whether the graphic card is suitable or not, those things. But now, if you're about to run for a HD mode, software will understand the GPU, understand the level of graphic card you're having in the system, and it will suggest you which will be the better suited, and till what level of processing you can do in that particular that system. That will be highlighted by the software before you commencing any of the project. Okay, yeah. So coming to the last step, these are some of the updates or differences between the previous version of Studio 15, 16, and 17. As you can see, this mesh to CAD, that is alignment is 8 times more faster than Artec Studio 15. And again, surface distance, that is the color comparison or surface comparison between CAD to scan model has been 70% more faster now. And again, all kind of primitives can be done. As I was showing earlier in the previous version, only basic primitives like sphere, cylinder, plane, and also some cone was only possible. Now, in the latest version, even we can create all kind of torus shape, and as well as some shapes of like what else like some other 2-3 basic parameters can be done. Plus again, freeform is also possible. That is nothing but a kind of a mesh fit. That means even if you are having some kind of 3D profile, okay, which is not actually a primitive kind. So even that is also possible to refit. Just like you just select some sample area, and from that it will be automatically, just like brush, you just select some particular region and you one click, and software will automatically fit that as a patch. That also can be exported as a step or IGS, and your next step will be just import it in other software and you trim the surfaces to get it as a perfect profile. So just to give the example, like a car automotive full surface or automotive 3D profiles. So those are not a primitive type, right? So those kind of surfaces can also be a redesigned or reverse engineered in the scanning software itself using the freeform tools as well. Okay. So if we're talking about last options like user interface or project loading is 10 times faster than the previous versions, and HD reconstruction is also double the overall the previous version. And as some of the total new parameters has been added, which are not at all there in the previous versions. Okay. So that is it. We are at the end of the session. So hope it was informative. Of course, the reason why we wanted to show this to our customers is that because whatever the softwares they are using, or whatever the of course it might be fulfilling the applications, but still the latest versions, or if it is available, it's better to know what are the possibilities we can do with our software, so that if it is possible, you can able to utilize the things and let it go ahead with the exploring the other possibilities, not only restricting to one particular field of either reverse engineering, either inspection, or any other like that. So we can have all the possibility to explore all the fields, and we can do it with the one single software. Okay, so if you have any doubt, please you can ask. I have one question from Suraj Prakash sir. How to extract a surface from a scan data for surfacing? Please explain. Okay. Okay, 1 second, sir. I'll just stop sharing my screen. Parallelly, if anybody having doubt, you can please ask in the chat box, or once this is done, I can just explain it over. I'll just try to show it in the software itself. I'm just opening the software. I'm just importing some scan model. Okay. I guess everyone might be seeing the screen what I am sharing here. Okay. Now let's say if I want to, of course, whoever is already using a reverse engineering softwares or design softwares, they might be knowing. If I want to redesign this, you have to take sections everywhere, and you have to create a proper sketch, and you have to extrude that. So instead of that here, let's say if I want to extract this surface, you are also know that it is a kind of a 3D profile. And again, it is not a complete straight line. It is having some kind of irregularities and having some kind of clear profile there. So what you can do is that you can directly go to construct, and just like this, you choose the surface, preform surface. You just draw it around here. Okay, it is in the selection of 3D brush and lasso. Okay, just select this area and you can give some kind of details about how the things has to be done, like 30, or I'll get some 30, number of points 10. Okay, fit patch. So now automatically surface will patch will be fitted. You can see this now. It has created one surface over here. Maybe I'll just try to change the color of this for more clearer visibility. Yeah, you can see this now. It is created a surface. Taking this as now you can directly export these surfaces as a step or IGS if you want. Export as a CAD objects, and you can choose this as a step or IGS, which can be imported in any design software for future applications. Now, the reason the thing I showed is about a 3D surface. Now, let's say if you are having some kind of a proper geometrical models, that is kind of a primitives or something. For example, let's say this area you want to add it as a step or IGS, or for example, this step. What I can have to do is that I can take a plane, just select some a portion here, either using a brush or anything, and fit one plane. One plane is fitted here, right? Same way I can fit one more plane on the top profile. Again, there is a lot of very unique methods to select these portions as well. Yeah, just one click and it will be selected and fit one plane. Same way, if you want to fit the get these circular details also, you can just click there and it will be automatically taken. Just like how you do the painting, it is just simple as it is here in the hello. Sorry, actually, some issue with the mic, I guess. Hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Suraj sir, I might have answered your question. Please, if you need any help, you can just ask me. I can brief more. And I have one more question from Rajiv Bharati. By this version, do you mean that we don't need any external software like Polyworks for surface comparison? Okay. Ma'am, actually it depends. Like if you want to do kind of GD&T parameters, okay, that means you are going to inspect GD&T inspections. That is like you want to inspect flatness or position of the hole, or any kind of flat those applications. Then you definitely need that high-end software, that is Polyworks, or even we supply with Geomagic Control X. So both are one and the same, similar way. So, but again, if at all, if your application is only to just to check the surface comparison and you want to add it in a report along with adding some flyers. So in that case, you don't need to go for us purchasing a separate software. because again, the alignment is also getting improved. Now you can do, including the earlier alignment methods were also not there. Now you can do datum alignment as well, so that it will almost fulfill whatever you are expecting as per the basic inspection level. But for your question, yes, if at all, if you're expecting a more inspection, like even sectioning is also can be done in the Artec Studio itself. But if you want some GD&T terms and also some kind of extracting dimensions, like adding with the tolerance band, then you have to go for those third-party inspection softwares now. Hope I have answered. Okay, right. So just we'll move on to the next question. Okay, thank you. Next question is that is release 17 free for existing users? Okay, sir, actually it depends. Like,
Sir, sound is not coming.
hello. Yes, sir. Actually, the latest version is depends. If at all, if you are in within a warranty period, and if it is within 1 year of purchase, you might get it as a free. But if it is a kind of like, if you are using a very previous version, and if you are out of warranty, it might need to be included as a separate cost, sir. So if you want the details, we can give you in the later stage. But and also you can let us know the version which you are using. Maybe we can connect in the later stage, and I'll just give you a clear idea about what might be the differences and how much difference we will be getting in different softwares. Okay, sir. Right. So if anyone having doubts, please you can ask me about the version or anything. We are free to discuss. And extremely thank you everyone for this quick session about the latest version, and thank you for showing the interest on the new releases of the Artec. And we will keep on doing some similar kind of activity, at least to make sure our existed customers are educated about the products and to streamline the tools which are available in the software, so that according to their particular applications. Please try to participate, and please make the sessions useful. Okay. If no questions are there, we'll end this session. Okay. And if anything is there, please do call us and reach us. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Lakshmikant.